Hello traders, Day Trader Matt here of businesswithtrading.com, doing a trading strategy recap for Friday the 27th of February, last day of February. We're going to do this one a little bit differently than we do a lot of our others, just because we're doing different services, the trading room, the swing trade, the options group. So today we're going to start to break down some of those numbers and talk about what we did this month. First of all, let's talk about what we did today, and then we'll talk about what we did for the month, and why consistency is important. Because I talk about it a lot, and there's a reason why I talk about it a lot. For me, it's really, really important. And to be a trader in general, it's really important. As people, we have priorities. Human beings have priorities. Whether you think you do or not, it doesn't really matter because you do. One person's priority, sadly, might be watching 4 hours of TV a day. That's what we do on average. And also, statistically, as a fun fact, if you twiddle your thumbs, you actually have more brain activity than watching television. I thought it was an interesting fun fact. But anyway, psychology is something that's so important to me, and it's so much fun. I coach other people all the time, so stuff like that is interesting to me. My sister laughs at me, but it is what it is. We have different passions. But anyway, let's get into what we did today. Today we had 3 trades. We were 2 for 1, and ended up with 2.25 points in our E-mini trading room. And the first trade was a stop out. And that's what really makes trading interesting, especially when your first trade of the day is a stop out. So we kind of watched this. We were wanting to short higher up here. Actually, we were wanting to short up here, and then we changed it to over here. But price decided it was going to hit neither of those and just roll over. So, right away you're like, oh shit, price went the other way. What do we do? So we just watched it. Prices kept going down, started to support a little bit, and we were like, okay, let's just short it. So it started to come back up, we get short, and it just keeps coming up and stops to stop. It is what it is. So we look at it, we're like, okay, what do we do? It's definitely looking ugly, but we decided to get long down here. We were able to ride that up a little bit, take some profits. And price did chop around a little bit more, and then interestingly enough, it actually went up again. So as price came down, we decided to get long, which is actually got long up here, and then we ended up getting out up here. We stuck around a little bit longer. Everybody in the room stuck around for a few minutes later. We were able to get out and then book our profits of 2.25 points. And that's why I always talk about why it's important to watch the market and stay, in tune with it, and how every trade's different than the next one. Because it is important. Yeah, we got stopped out here, but we didn't look at it as a bad thing. We couldn't get in this short, and price just ran down. We didn't say, well, look at all the points I could have made. There's no room for woulda, coulda, shoulda in trading. None at all. If you want to do that crap, go somewhere else, because you're better off being miserable and not losing money than being miserable and losing money. And that's a topic for a totally different day, and I could speak about it for days and days and probably weeks on end, actually, just because there's so much involved, and everybody's different as well. Which, because everybody's different, you have to approach that subject differently, if that makes sense. And that's what makes coaching so fun in that aspect. But I've dealt with this for a very long time, and I've coached people for a very long time, and I'm good at it. You know, I'm not good at everything. I've never claimed to be, but I'm good at a few things, and I know that I am, and I know how to approach them. But anyway, you know, to continue this talk, let me get into what we actually did this month in all of our services. You know, I've been getting some questions, you know, can you break it down a little bit more? You know, I do the videos, and this is pretty much what we did. We had 119 points in the E-mini trading room. Drawdown, 2 stop outs. The future swing trading group, because we trade so much, you can't look at that in points because everything's different. A point in cotton is different than a point in soybeans, different than a point in crude oil, different than a point in the Russell futures, different than a point in cocoa. You know, so you can't look at it on a point-by-point basis because it just does not work. You know, and if you look at it on a point-by-point basis, it's not going to give you a correct answer because, you know, crude oil and cocoa are totally different if you look at how much they are per point, you know, or cotton, you know, or, you know, anything. But we trade so much. So this number is taken on one contract per side that we actually enter. I like to take 2 sides, meaning if I'm going long, I'm going to either stagger it. I want to get long partial here and partial here, or I want to enter all at once. So I'm taking 2 sides to every trade, and we're assuming 1 contract per side. So that's where these numbers come from. For example, if we get long soybeans, if we enter all in, we're long 2 contracts. For example, if we're long the ES right here, let's say we are long at 6 even. We're long 2 contracts because there are 2 sides. So that's the way these numbers are. Hopefully that explains it. So our gain for the month of February was $25,452.50. That was our gain. Well, what was our drawdown? Our loss was $1,550, which brings us to a total $23,902.50, and that gives us a total for that of 16.42 to 1. That's how much profit we made to loss. And instead of risk reward, I should have said profit to loss. That actually makes more sense. I'll definitely record these videos off the cuff. I just quickly made this up, and you know, after going through the numbers, you know, I keep spreadsheets of all of this, everything that happens. So I just run through that, throw it together, and record the video. You know, I don't script these videos before I do them. I just record them because I think they're the most fun for me, and all you guys watching this get the most out of it. You know, if I scripted it, it wouldn't help me or you. I don't think. You know, it might help you, but I don't think it would. Okay, so the options trading group, we look at it a little bit differently. We look at it to how much did we spend to how much did we make. And I think that's the best way to look at it because it really looks at it how much did we make on our risk capital. So we spent $6.31, 31,697 cents. Very detailed. We made $8.13. And obviously in options, you multiply these by 100 because each option contract is theoretically 100 shares. So you have to multiply. If you buy an option for $1, it means you paid $100 for it. If you bought an option for $8.13, it means you paid $813 for it. So, I mean, you guys know that, but I still feel it needs to be said just because of clarity's sake for the video. You know, I may do numbers a little bit different. So anyway, that's what we're looking at. You know, so if you're trading 1 contract, that's what you did. If you trade 10 contracts, just multiply this by 10. If you do 100, which, most people are probably doing around 10 to 20. You know, but anyway, we made 29% on our money. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for 1 month. You made 29% on your money. That's a lot better than if you're a bank and you loan it out. You might make 6, 7%. We made 29% in 1 month, not a year. So these are the numbers of what we did. We didn't have a big drawdown in the trading room. This swing trade group, yeah, $1,550, probably a lot of money. Some people a lot of money, some people not so much. As putting it all in perspective, making over 25,000, but losses of 1,500, and we still made 16.42 to 1 on our money. So if you're only trading one contract here rather than two, yeah, you're going to make less, but you're going to risk less. And it's really up to you. That's why I'm really breaking this down, just so you guys can kind of get an idea of, my thought process of what I look for. And that's what I wanted to do this month, is really just, break stuff down, talk about it. That's why I always focus on consistency. If you don't see a trade, why take one? And I've been at this long enough to, it's ingrained in my mind. I know if I don't see a trade, don't take one. But it's also important to know that, what you make isn't necessarily what you're going to make in the future. But you can look at it and say, okay, that's decent. We can expect to do this going forward. And I always estimate low, so I would probably say, estimate a little low. But, this is our goal, is to be positive in every single category. Granted, we're not up every single month. I mean, we are in the trading room, thank goodness. In the futures, so far we have been. The options, we have not. But over time, you're going to be up. After that year, if you're down after that year's over, there's a problem. And that's the way I look at it. If I'm down at the end of the month, yes, there's an issue. At the end of 3 months, if I'm down for 3 months straight, there's a big issue. But if I'm down after the year's over, there is a problem. Not just an issue, there's a problem. And I guess because of that, I haven't been down a year. And not saying that I won't be in the future, but it's because I don't develop an ego. I don't go out and tell people, hey, look at me, I did this. Who gives a shit? I know what I did. I don't have to tell people. And that's what I see a lot of traders doing. They have to go out and tell people what they did. I made this much on this trade. I'm good, look at me. Who gives a shit? You have to believe that you're good. It doesn't matter what other people tell you. Other people's definition of you is not your definition for yourself. And if it is, then yeah, you need to change that. You should probably give me a call and say, yeah, I'm trading, I'm having a difficult time, and I know I need to change my mindset. Help me out. I do that all the time. I help people out all the time like that. I'm not saying you have to call me. I'm not the only person that can help you. I'm just saying you need help. Because if you're doing that and you expect to be a professional trader, most likely your P&L sucks. I'm a blunt guy. Yeah, I might piss you off, but I'm going to tell you how it is. Because if you sugarcoat it and blame something else, you're never going to fix the problem. It's like a plumber. Let's say there's a problem with your sink. The water's not working. You don't know why it's not working. You're not a plumber. So you call somebody, and he comes over, and he says, okay, let me talk to it for a little bit, and then I'll just leave. It might work. It should work. You're like, well, what the fuck's wrong with you, man? You're a plumber. Get under the sink and fix it. You know, you would say that, right? Well, why don't people tell other people when they have psychological issues? It's probably because statistically, the majority of Americans have some form of psychological issue. It's not to the extent that would put you in the crazy farm, but it is a psychological issue. And the problem is, our society, the whole industry is not set up to really look deep into the brain and look at psychological issues. We're still working on data that's been disproven 50 years ago. It's very, very behind. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. Hopefully you enjoyed the breakdown of the numbers. I've gotten a lot of questions from that, so this is the first month I've actually done that. So hopefully you did enjoy seeing that. You did get something out of the video. You can always email me, support@businesswithtrading.com. Give the office a call. And I encourage you, if you like the video, please share it. Like it, share it. You can always leave comments below as well. Remember, there's no such thing as a dumb question, only the one not asked. And if you don't feel comfortable asking the question under the video, email me. Give me a call. That's what I'm here for. That's why the whole website was developed. That's why I have in the center of my website my mission statement, empowering traders with education. Because it's not about labeling people. That's society's job. What my job is to try to help you the best that I can. So, if you have something you want to fix, give me a call. That's what I'm here for. So with that, have an awesome rest of your day. Have a great weekend. Enjoy it. And I'll see you next week in the markets. Thank you.